And we are live. Welcome to Noble Credit Podcast. Today, we might be doing an unboxing video for two credit cards. For right now, let's just get some people in here. Let's just have a bit of a Q&A, talk about credit cards, talk about military, whatever you guys want to talk about. But figure out how to get on live and, chat with you guys, see what's up. So as you're making your way in, hit the like button for me. Let's get some more people in here. And then as you come in, go ahead and announce yourself in the chat. Also I'm trying to play around with the streaming software right now. See if I can get my screen to show up. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I might have to do like a private session and do that. I'm telling you like everything that I'm thinking about doing, but uh, yeah, that's kind of how it is right now. But as you guys are coming in, hit the like button for me. I have some exciting news about two new credit cards that I just applied for and got approved for. And I have those credit cards. I have one right here. And then I have the other right here. So if I don't unbox them on this live stream, I'm definitely going to unbox them in an unboxing video coming up pretty soon on the channel. But I'm here. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. So, uh, I've been traveling. I've been traveling a lot lately. One of the videos that I have to come out with is I have to come out with the report on one of my travels. Did like 10 countries, 11 countries, something crazy like that. And then I'll do the breakdown of the points that it took in order to do that, the free night certificates that were redeemed, the free nights, the hotel points that it took to book, the chase points that it took to book um, rental cars. Rental cars is a big thing when you're doing that kind of travel. But yeah, going to be coming out with that one. I want to try to get that one out this week because I got to do the unboxing video for these two. But depending on how this stream goes, I might unbox one of them or both of them. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. On your way in, hit that like button for me. So while I have some time before people start coming in asking questions, um, I'll talk about kind of the end game where I am in the credit card journey. So right now, I'm definitely in the end game, but being in the end game doesn't necessarily mean that you stop getting credit cards. It it means that you develop a comfortable setup, but in my case, I thought I was going to be done getting credit cards, but what happened is, um, as I got comfortable in my setup, I started to realize the more value that I could get out of getting more credit cards as opposed to just resting on the amount that I have. So currently, Actually, I don't know the exact tally, but it's something crazy, something outrageous. I got all the platinum cards, all the American Express credit cards. I got a bunch of Chase cards, and then my player two. She has a bunch of cards as well. So I have a chat. Let me read this. Jay from the Six from Toronto. Jay from the Six says, "Hey, Noble Credit. I'm currently an active duty Air Force member, and I'm looking for a good hotel card to utilize for the long term. Get the Hilton Aspire credit card. That's an easy one. Do I have any Hilton Aspires on me? I got some old Hilton. I got my credit card graveyard right here, but I don't have my wallet with all of my card. No, I do. I do have my wallet with all my cards. So I keep all my cards in like this black wallet. So as you can see, there's a lot in here, but I personally have three Hilton Aspire cards, and I wish I had more. But player two, she also has three. So being active duty military, which I try to encourage all of my active duty people, I try to encourage them to get more. I think my food's here. So all of my active duty folks, I try to encourage them to get more credit cards to benefit the way that I benefit from credit cards. And that's why I come into a forum like this, where I don't necessarily have to feel like I'm soliciting to you. You came to me. All right. You clicked on the live stream. So thank you for clicking on it and hit the like button for me, please. Um, but yeah, for Jay from the Six, get the Hilton Aspire card. Now, what I hope will happen when someone gets kind of a taste of, the good life of staying at the Waldorf Astoria or the Hilton Conrad, some of these really nice properties, they go, I want more of this. And if you're active duty military, then you can have more of it and you can have more of it for free. So I recommend all active duty military, unless you're about to get out and you are, then if you're in it for the long haul, you better be getting credit cards. Are you kidding me? Because I'm not going to be finished for a while. All right, I'm here for a good while. And every single year, I will have all of these benefits. I literally travel mostly for free. So I got this trip coming up, and it's one of the bargains of, I would say, the Middle East. And if you know, you know. But one of the bargains in the Middle East, and the properties there are so cheap. What I did was I used the American Express's Fine Hotels and Resorts. So the FHR credit gives you $200 per year. You might think that's $200 a year. That's it. Well, when I have a bunch of platinum cards, those all add up. Those all stack. Now, can you just stack them into one booking? No, you can't do that. What you would do is you would do one booking per night that you want to use the cards. And because there are two of us, have a player two, we are able to stay back to back nights, and it's fine. Like you can do that. Uh, but yeah, there's some crazy value. If you know, you know. If you uh, put it in the comments, if you know what the best value in the Middle East is, put that in the comments because in this place you can stay for cheap, but you're staying in five-star hotels. So if you have that $200 credit, the properties that I'm staying at, some of these properties cost $167, $189. And you're like, well, that's a $200 credit. That's crazy value. Well, at the end of the day, when taxes are taken into account, I think for one of the properties, I'm paying 15, another property I'm paying 25. Or I think it's the same property but a different night, so price goes up a little bit. So paying 15 and 25, and this is a 5-star Waldorf Astoria. You like $15 to stay at a Waldorf Astoria. I'm taking that all day, and then we take it over to another city, and we do the same thing. So the Middle East is a hidden gem when it comes to that. Uh, so I encourage you to take a trip over there. You know, we have people in the military that are deployed over there, but if I go over there, I definitely want to be over there on my own accord. All right. But shout out to the military that are out there, you know, especially Navy, trying to keep those seas free, trying to keep commerce going, because we have people out there that are just trying to cause terror in that area. So shout out to you guys. And this is one of the reasons why I do this. It's because I want to put as much money into your pocket as possible. If I can get you a credit card that gives you $300, then I feel like I did my part. That gives you a free $300 just to have it. Then I feel like I did my part. So uh, Jay from the Six, definitely get the Hilton Aspire card. And since you did ask that, let me make sure the link tree is in the comments or in the chat. Yep. So also, if you're interested in getting credit cards, make sure you use my link tree. It's in the chat. Uh, it's a great link tree. I've actually gotten a few compliments. Excuse me. I've actually gotten a few compliments on it. So go ahead and check that out for your credit card needs. But oh, back to vamping. So the Middle East, great value. You can get pretty good value in a lot of places all over the world. You just gotta kind of know where to look. Like for instance, since I just recommended the Hilton Aspire card, you gotta check to see where your Hilton resort credit can go the furthest around the world. Now it's harder to uh, get that done. Let's say you try to do South America. I've checked South America is not really you're not really going to get that great of value, but some properties maybe in Southeast Asia you might have a better time. So that's kind of where uh, having all these credit cards and all these points has led me. And then one of the biggest ways I'm able to travel for free is through the United Travel Hack. So having all these cards, um, I all these platinum cards have what is called a $200 airline fee credit. So I load those $200 in $100 increments into my United Travel bank. It's a United Travel wallet. And then I'm able to use the money in that travel wallet, kind of like how I use the money, how I use the platinum credits for Uber Eats every month. So because I have all these platinum cards that stack every month, I end up with like $160 to use on Uber or Uber Eats. But I try to use it on Uber Eats, especially if I'm not traveling, because I have no reason to Uber if I have my car and I'm not traveling in anywhere. So the United Travel Wallet, it operates just like that. Now, I didn't make a community post um, with the data points for 2024, but this live stream could kind of act as a data point. Basically, everything that's supposed to work worked. All right. So the platinum credits, the airline fee credits, they all worked. The US bank credits with the altitude reserve, the Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite credits, that $300 credit, that worked. The Hilton quarterly credits, the quarterly credits are $50 per quarter. So the next quarter is going to start on April 1st. So if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and load $50 from your Hilton Aspire into your United Travel Bank now. and then do it again after April 1st or on April 1st. It doesn't matter which one. So yeah, go ahead and throw any questions you have in the chat. I'm here. And thanks for hitting the like button. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in. And I know it's a Wednesday, 7:15. Kind of just came out of the blue with the live stream, but that's okay. That's okay. Depending on how the live stream goes, like I said, we might unbox two credit cards. So throw the likes up. And if we don't, hit our goal, then expect that unboxing video to come out this week. I'm probably gonna record the unboxing video either tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, I do need to get on making that video where I outline, and I have my Excel sheet where I outline all of the points that are used to do the 11 countries in like a little over 2 weeks, something crazy like that. But yeah, also some of the trips that I take, they're doable. Like for most of you, especially if you're active duty, these are doable. Um, I don't pick bad locations. You want to know a hidden gem? A hidden gem that you can take full advantage of? Here's a good one. If you don't want to go too far, Chicago. Now, you might think, Chicago, why would I want to go to Chicago? Well, Chicago's a nice city, but Chicago has a hotel that's part of the Fine Hotels and Resorts program. It's called the Pendry. This is a hidden gem. Like, you're not going to hear this anywhere. Like, you can only hear this here, but it's called the Pendry, and it's under the Fine Hotels and Resorts. And if you stay there, the price of the Pendry is below the $200 threshold, so you can literally stay there for free. Now, the Pendry isn't a Hilton, it's not a Marriott, so you're not going to have status, but you are going to still get a nice room. And they might give you an upgrade because when I stayed there, the rooms were really nice. I think it's either a 4 or a 5-star hotel, but it's right there in the heart of downtown. So if you're thinking of more of a domestic trip, either to get your feet wet or just to, it's usually pretty cheap to get to Chicago, especially with United, because it's a United hub. Check out Chicago, check out the Pendry, and then explore downtown Chicago. I don't think I did enough. I don't think I did enough videos of nope, on Instagram I did. You can check out Instagram TYSIXHUNNID. That's my Instagram at so yeah, check out the Instagram there. That's where I put a lot of the travel stuff on. I'll start putting more of that on YouTube in the form of shorts, probably, but I got some long form videos, mostly of snowboarding in all these pretty cool places. I did a whole Epic Pass tour. Epic Pass, this is another thing. If you're into snowboarding, or if you're not into snowboarding yet, you need to get into snowboarding, especially if you're active duty military, because we get a crazy benefit. It's called the Epic Pass, where normal civilians they have to pay upwards of $980, I think. I got my Epic Pass for $167 last year, and lasts the whole it lasts the whole season. So that's an underrated part of being in the military, being able to use that. So I took that Epic Pass and we went to Salt Lake City, to Colorado, to Beaver Creek, to Vail, and we went up to Whistler Blackcomb, and then we went over to Milan and took the train up to Andermatt, Switzerland, snowboarded the Swiss Alps. So Just a thought, but definitely check into getting an Epic Pass. And some of the ski resorts have some of the best redemptions. And I mean, Jay from the Six, he put a comment asking what's the best hotel card. Well, I told you it's the Hilton Aspire card, but I didn't explain to you uh why it's so lucrative. It's because it gives you access to literally the best properties in the world a lot of the times for free. One of the best properties in the United States, and this might be the best property in the United States, that is a Hilton, is the Hilton Waldorf Astoria Park City. When I say that this hotel is magnificent, check the Instagram, because I have videos on there. I made a short for the Waldorf Astoria where I did like the room tour, but that hotel is insane. That's easily the most luxurious hotel I've ever stayed in. It's a winter chalet. Like some of the best hotels are at ski resorts. So that's why like being involved in like skiing or having an epic pass is is pretty cool. Like snowboarding is pretty cool because even if you didn't snowboard, which you should, or if you didn't ski, being in the environment, being in like a ski town, like being on the mountain is pretty cool. So definitely recommend doing that, especially if you're active duty military. Um, yeah, and if you join this live stream, go ahead and like announce yourself. Uh, Definitely want to get your guys' questions asked or answered. Uh, yeah, so let me know, and then make sure you hit that like on the way in. And then for Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Ty600. Be sure to follow me. And also, Jay from the Six, he did say he's active duty Air Force. Thank you for your service. And also, Jay, make sure you get multiple Hilton Aspires. It costs you nothing. Just yeah, get multiple because 3 free nights is better than 1 free night. Like you're not gonna go to the Park City, Waldorf Astoria, and stay one night. You want to at least stay multiple nights. So yeah, make sure you're doing that. Man, looks like I'm gonna be getting to this dinner. I don't have any questions. No questions in the chat. Gave you guys the I gave you guys the sauce for the United Travel hack, that data point for 2024. I can put it in the community post so you have a frame of reference, but it worked. It worked with all of them. So Jay from the Six asks a pretty good question. He says, would that be by upgrading each Hilton card to the Aspire level? He's asking about like getting multiple because I said get multiple. No, you will probably like back when I was getting multiple Hilton Aspires. They didn't have pop up jail yet, so pop up jail prevents you from getting the sign up bonus. Excuse me, on multiple cards in the same family for American Express. So what I used to do, or what I did, was I initially had a Hilton Aspire card. It was one of my first cards. And then I knew that I wanted to get another sign up bonus, but I couldn't apply for the Hilton Aspire. So I had to apply for the Hilton Ascend. It was called the Ascend. Now it's called the Surpass. I applied for the Hilton Ascend, and then I wanted to get the sign up bonus, and then I would eventually upgrade that to another Hilton Aspire within a year or a year after getting it. And that worked. But what has happened since then, since I would say 2019, is you're not allowed to do that anymore because American Express, they have pop up jail and you just don't get sign up bonuses for the same family anymore. Um, so it worked back then. So nowadays, you can only get that sign up bonus once. And I look at it like, fine, I get the sign up bonus once. It's still a lot of value that you could have gotten from getting a sign up bonus again, but you have no choice. So now you just apply for another Hilton Aspire card when the time is right. So you got to be within the application rules for American Express. Like you can only be approved for two credit cards within a 90-day period, but don't make both of them Hilton Aspire cards because if you do, they're going to believe it's a duplicate application and they're going to deny you. So wait your 90 days. And then if you don't wait 90 days, let's say you, because we got to get a lot of credit cards. Um, Maybe you space out a little bit more, but after 90 days, maybe get another card that you're thinking about because we do have some more hotel cards that you need to get. You probably should get the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant with American Express. Too many cats in this house. So you you may as well get the Bonvoy Brilliant. And I only have one, and I'm glad I only have one because it's a good card, but it's nowhere near the value that the Hilton Aspire can give. So that's why I recommend in your 5 card setup, I would have 3 Hilton Aspires, 1 Delta Reserve, and then 1 Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant. The Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant does come in handy though, because we do get that $25 per month credit to spend on dining. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It adds to all the other credits. So the American Express Platinum's giving you Uber credits, which we use on Uber Eats, and then Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant is giving you a $25 uh, dining credit. And then Player Two has 2 Bonvoy Brilliant. So for us, that's $75. So and then that's $75 added to all the Uber credits. So that's well over $200 that we just get for free every month. It's almost like having food stamps. like, but we're in the military and we make enough money that we don't need that we don't qualify for food stamps almost. So that's one way to think about it. But yeah, you're gonna need to apply for multiple aspires because the old way of doing it is no longer viable. The old way of applying for a Hilton Aspire, getting the sign up bonus, and then maybe a few months later applying for the Hilton Surpass card, getting the sign up bonus and upgrading in a year, not doable. So hope that answers your question. No, that had to answer your question. I know that answers your question. Any more questions though, Jay? And thanks for being in the chat. Jay says, as I am moving to gain more credit as I have the SCRA and MLA benefits, how should I space out my credit card applications? Oh, I also remember you saying starting with Chase cards first as well. So Jay, uh, it depends on how many cards or what cards you already have. But yes, you definitely want to start with Chase because once you get too many cards that are not Chase cards, you won't be able to get any Chase cards for a while. And this is a marathon, not a sprint, but you don't want part of that marathon to have to wait a couple of years. So get your Chase Sapphire Reserve, get um, get your Marriott Bonvoy Boundless, get your you can get a Hyatt card, even though I'm not really happy with them. It's still another free night that I get. Get your ISG card. ISG to me appears to be pretty good hotel from my experiences. One of the best ISGs that I stayed in using the free night certificate was the The Staybridge, yeah, the Staybridge Suites in Reno. That's a nice one, and that it was a comfortable one. It's a cheaper hotel, but it was comfortable. It was nice, and it didn't feel cheap. Didn't feel cheap, not by a long shot. So definitely get an IHG card. So right now, Chase Sapphire Reserve, United Club card comes in handy because I fly United a lot, right? Once you start using the United Travel Bank hack, you'll fly United a bunch. So if you're flying United a bunch, that United Club card that allows you to get into the United Club, that saves you a ton of money because you got to think about it. If I'm flying, I fly a lot, fly all the time. When we stop at a United Club, the opportunity cost was not an opportunity cost. The money that we save by not eating at the airport during a layover is crazy. So we get free food. You get free food at like the USO as well, but USOs aren't always open during the time you may need it, or the food isn't as good. Sometimes you only get like a PB&J, which sometimes they hit. Like sometimes a PB&J they have their place, but yeah, definitely think about getting the United Club. And I talk about all these cars on the channel. Um, so as far as order of operations, I would go Chase Sapphire Reserve. Now, as far as space, so order of operation and spacing of the application. So Chase Sapphire Reserve, and then you shouldn't have to wait too long. I remember when I first got my Chase Sapphire Reserve, it was like the month before that. I think I had applied for the Chase Slate. It was called a Chase Slate. Then they've changed the name to like the Slate Edge. But the Chase Slate was actually my first Chase credit card. And then that card I would end up upgrading to another Chase Sapphire Reserve in a year's time. So uh, you can start with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, or you can start with the Freedom Unlimited. It does matter, but whichever one you think you'll get approved for, and sometimes it is based on credit score, so you need probably a little bit of a higher credit score to get approved for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So I would say probably above a 720 to get approved for that Chase Sapphire Reserve, and then make sure the income is there, and then start moving on to cars that are future proof that you will upgrade in a year's time. Sometimes this depends on how long you're staying in the military. Like if you're only in for a year, then it doesn't make sense for you to get a card, or for another year, it doesn't make sense for you to get a card that you need to upgrade within a year or in that next year, and then you're out. So if you have a little bit of longevity in the military, this this comes to benefit way more. So Chase Sapphire Reserve, um, maybe get the Freedom Unlimited or Freedom Flex. I would say Freedom Unlimited. Um, I would start hitting, and by space, these applications don't have to be too far. Uh, maybe like a month. Give it like a month, and then so within 3 months, you could probably get three chase cards. And that third card, I would start on that Marriott Bonvoy Boundless, because then you want to upgrade that to a Chase Ritz Carlton card within a year. And I have like a whole video series on that. So I'm not even going to get into that. Just check out that video series. I got like a 4 or 5 part video series on upgrading the Bonvoy Balance to Chase Sapphire or to the Chase Ritz Carlton card. And it's definitely worth it. Um, and then after that, it depends on how many cards you've previously got. Sometimes when people come to the channel, they may be a little younger. And so in boot camp, they got like the Navy Federal Cash Rewards card. So they already have a card taking up a 524 slot. And then I can get them to getting maybe 3 or 4 chase cards. So sometimes it depends on when you come in. But if you can, how much longer do you think it was? Jake, shout out to Jake Bro, by the way. Jake, I'm gonna be here for a while. It's going pretty well. Um, might have some big news soon, but I'm gonna be here for a while, Jake. Uh, but yeah, so I can usually get you probably about 3 or 4 credit cards, depending on what you did before you found the channel. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely doing that. But possibly after that, I don't know if, but that's still a long time from now. But yeah, the way it's going right now, I'm doing pretty well. Uh, and you know, I like the military, right? And I want to help you guys. I want to definitely want to help you guys in the military do what I'm able to do because I feel like, uh, as someone who I haven't deployed to the Middle East and in the Arabian or in the Persian Gulf, but I respect those of us who have. I respect my brothers and sisters that have. So when you guys come back from those deployments, I want I want to make sure you know I can do my part in putting money into your pockets. You want to go places, you want to go on leave, you want to take your family places. All right, let's get you some credit card points. Let's stack some platinum cards so that you can stay in the nicest spots. You know, like sometimes don't you feel like as an active duty service member, someone who's literally given their life for the country, you should be allowed to stay in the nicest hotels for free. That's what I think. That's what I believe. So, um, because you're not afforded that, we got to find means around it. We got to find a way to get it like that. So that's why we use these credit cards to make sure you're nice and comfortable when you know when you decide to travel, and then you do get to experience some pretty cool spots if you listen to the things I'm saying. You get to go all over the world. That's where I've taken this. So I've experienced I've gone places where people dream of going, and the military didn't deploy me there. So, and I got there for kind of for free. Now there's some costs in some things, like there's no points that can get me to Iceland. There are. I can transfer some points, possibly to Iceland Air, I believe, but the flight is too expensive. You're better off going to Play Airlines, and you just got to pay out of pocket. But then once you get into Europe through Iceland, the rest of Europe is your oyster because it's much cheaper to get to Iceland than anywhere else in Europe. And so you fork over the money to get to Iceland. That's that will be my play. That will be the most cost effective play to me. Cough up the money to get to Iceland. It's only I don't remember exactly how much it cost. It's it may be like a $400 flight, and it may have been like 5 or $600 for two of us. Because remember, everywhere I go, it's two. So yeah, you just if you do the things that I'm telling you to do, you get to travel a lot of cool places. Um, where was I? Oh, Jake Bro, asking if I was doing full 20. Yeah, it looks like that. Will I stay in longer? We will see. Um, Jake Bro, I think Jake was the one that taught me full C fund, like no no bells, no whistles, just do the C fund. And I think I have a book over here. Is it in front of me? Like there's a book that I read, um, by the guy that invented. He basically like invented the index fund or the. Yep, Jake said, "Yep, stay 100% C fund and the TSP for life." Because what you could do is you could play it like, oh, the S fund is doing really well. I'm gonna do 80% C fund, 20% S fund, and then I'm gonna take advantage of a good S fund. But you gotta remember there's something called longevity in this. Remember, marathon, not a sprint. So the S fund or the I fund, they might have a good quarter, but it's about the long term. last year, I just got my 2023 TSP uh, information back. Last year, guess who won? The C fund. The S fund wasn't far behind. The I fund was a little further behind, but the C fund being 100% in the C fund still won at the end of the day. Yep, Jake's right. It's just the S&P 500 index fund. And you want to know what's something interesting? Yeah, I'm talking about John Bogle and what's the name of the book? Is it behind me? Common Sense Investing. That's right. Uh, yeah, I think it's a boglehead or a bogglehead. I forget what they call themselves, but yeah, you can consider me that. But there's another thing about, and this is underrated. Like nobody's really going to talk about this. The C fund is also the best because even if the C fund loses to the S fund, which it wouldn't lose over time because the S fund is Jake, you would say like S fund is like mid-level to like mid-level stocks, right? Yeah. Jake Bro says Little Book of Common Sense Investing. Um, but the C fund is going to win long term, but the S fund could win for a quarter or it could win for a year. And lost my train of thought. The most important thing. All right, pay attention to this because this is super important. Even if the S fund wins for let's say a quarter or for a year, the C fund still wins. Why did I say that? Well, there's something called an expense ratio. You have a much higher expense ratio for the S fund than you do for the C fund, which let's say you won by 1% in the S fund. Let's say you're 100% in the S fund, you won by a percent in a year. You winning by 8%, you would have won more if you had stayed in the C fund because the expense ratio cancels out your advantage. You see what I'm saying? So the C fund has a 0.048 expense ratio, while the S fund has a 0.079 expense ratio. So they're still both low. All right. I'm not going to be like, oh, the 0.079 is crazy. No, it's still really low. But yeah. And based on the thousands of dollars that you're contributing, your uh, your expense ratio really does matter. All right. So, okay. So yeah, Jake says the C fund is the 500 largest publicly traded companies, S&P 500, while the S fund are the other 2,000 smaller publicly traded companies. Um, yep. So I don't know how we got to talking about the TSP, but yeah, that's some good game. Also, if you're joining, make sure you hit the like button. Uh, but yeah, what I want to do is I want to make sure, our service members get to stay in the best properties. And because, Hilton doesn't say, all right, service members, you guys get to stay for free. Marriott doesn't open the JW and say, all right, you guys get to stay for free. I got to figure out a way to do that. So through credit cards, I say, get these credit cards, build yourself up a roster of credit cards for free nights, stack some hotel points here and there, and then you get to stay where you want for free. All right. In the beginning of the video, I told you about one of the best values in the world in the Middle East, and I haven't seen anybody point it out in the chat. Let me read this from Jay from the Six. Jay from the Six says, "I'm a young airman and I have started early with my TSP as well. I'm all in on the C fund as well. That's what I love to see. Uh, I'm glad you're in the C fund. When I started my career." For a couple of years, I was all G Fund, and I think Jake was probably the one that got me out of the G Fund. It's funny that small world, um, but yeah, Jake definitely got me out of the G Fund and into the C Fund, and then that's when I started learning about all these other hacks and things like that because they don't care in boot camp. They just want to make sure that you're investing in the TSP. Um, and then the G fund is obviously the safest bet. So how long have I been on? 45 minutes. I honestly thought I was going to be off within like 5 minutes, um, because we didn't get enough for me to unbox these two cards. You guys will have to subscribe and hit the notification bell because I will unbox them, but just not in this live stream. But this is going to this data point for these two cards is definitely going to help you out, especially in the end game, because you can game plan all of this. I've guinea pigged enough of it that you can literally game plan it, and you gotta think ahead a bit. You gotta have probably a decent career. You can't get in trouble, you can't get kicked out, but probably by halfway through your career, you should have all the cards that you'll need. And if you end up getting yourself a player two, even better. But obviously, don't just get a player two for the credit cards. Get a player two because you want a player two, um, because you found a really good player two to do this whole life thing with. Uh, I don't really talk about that on the channel. I don't talk about like how to be. Yeah, this channel is more dealing with like finances, and then I help you be successful in the military. But if you want to, I could talk about that. I think I have a I think I have a decent head on my shoulders to be able to give you guys some wisdom on that. So, let me check the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything. It doesn't look like I missed anything, but Jay from the Six, I hope I answered all your questions. Looks like I did. And Jake, thanks for tuning in. Um, all right, I think it's time for me to get some food. It's time for me to get something to eat because my food has arrived. But thanks for checking in, guys. Thanks for tuning into this live stream. Unless there are any dying questions at the end. Nope. All right. We out. Peace.